A very warm welcome to all my dear children. I am so glad to meet you all through this video session. Now we are going to discuss, we are going to learn about your next chapter. I hope till your last chapter you have completed all your self-assessment, isn't it? Yes. So now we will move on with your next lesson, that is from your 5th standard science subject. Your next lesson is about nervous system, right? So what is nervous system? We are going to learn what is nervous system and what are the functions of the nervous system, right? Yes. So how children, you tell me how do you listen, how do you respond to any question which I am asking to you? Yes, because of your nervous system. Your nervous system helps you to think, learn and to give some response, right? So all these functions are happening because of the nervous system, right? So this nervous system helps you to think, it helps you to see, it helps you to hear, it helps you to taste the food, it helps you to feel, right? And it also helps you to smell and breathe. So all this functions are happening because of the nervous system. So the nervous system is connected with your sense organs, and with the help of sense organs and with the help of the nervous system you can able to do any kind of work, okay, right. So now let's see in detail about this nervous system, right. So this nervous system starts from your head till your toe. So it includes your brain, spinal cord and nerves. So from the brain is your central nervous system. So brain and spinal cord is your central nervous system, where all the impulses, all the responses is given by the brain, and thereby from the brain end is connected with your spinal cord, and from the spinal cord many nerves comes out of the spinal cord and ends in all the parts of our body, right. So the nervous system consists of brain, spinal cord and nerves. So these are these are all the things made this nervous system, right. So now let's see how it is connected. So your brain is connected with through the nerves to all the sense organs like your eyes, nose, tongue, ear and even your skin. So all the sense organs are connected by the nerves with your brain. So that is why you can, once you see some colorful thing, you are attracted, and once you see smell any flowers, you can smell the fragrance, right. So all this is because it takes the impulses to your brain, and thereby the brain is sending you the messages to all the parts of your body, right. So this is how you get the messages from the brain, and also through the sense organs you are taking the messages to the brain, right. So this is how the nervous system works. So first we are going to discuss about the brain. So as the nervous system is made up of brain, spinal cord and nerves, right. So first we are going to understand about brain. So you can see this is the structure of a brain, okay. So the brain has 3 parts. How many parts? 3 parts, okay. So it includes cerebrum. The yellow part is cerebrum, the blue part is cerebellum and the red part is brainstem, that is medulla oblongata, right. So now let's write what are these parts. So the major part, so the yellow part, the major part, it is known as cerebrum, and the blue part below the cerebrum you can find the cerebellum, and this brain is carried with the help of a stem like structure. So that is known as medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata is also called as brainstem, right. So now let's write what are all the parts of the brain. So first one is cerebrum, C-E-R-E-B-R-U-M, cerebrum. The second part is cerebellum, C-E-R-E-B-E-L-L-U-M, cerebellum, and the third part is medulla, M-E-D-U-L-L-A, medulla oblongata, O-B-L-O-N-G-A-T-A. Okay. So, these are all the parts of the brain. Now, let us see in detail about these parts. So, first one, this is actually the cerebrum. Okay. So, the cerebrum is made up of grooves and folds. You can see many groove foldings and grooves are there, no. So, the cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. Okay. And it controls the sense organs and it is the center for intelligence. So, all the intelligence is because of the cerebrum. The cerebrum helps you to think, learn and to read, write, all these activities, all these mental activities you are doing with the help of the cerebrum. Okay. So, now let us write about the cerebrum. So, this is the cerebrum. Okay. Cerebrum. So, cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. Okay. So, in the brain, which is the largest part of the brain? Cerebrum. So, it is the largest part. Right. And this is the cerebrum is the control of intelligence. So, this is the center of intelligence. Center of intelligence. And it has many grooves and folds. Okay. So, you can see many grooves and folds. So, actually if a person has many grooves and folds, he has a high memory power, he has a high intellectual power. Okay. So, that is why this grooves and folds will show you whether the person is a very intellectual person or not. Okay. So, it has many grooves and folds. It controls your sense organs. So, it controls sense organs, and also this cerebrum helps us to think, learn. Okay. So, all these activities, it helps us in thinking, learning, reasoning, and it also helps in answering. Okay. So, all these activities, it helps in thinking, learning, reasoning, all your impulses, all this happens because of the cerebrum. So, now you learnt about cerebrum. So, cerebrum is the largest part. So, this outer part of the brain is known as cerebrum, right. So, cerebrum has many grooves and folds. Cerebrum controls your sense organs and cerebrum is the center of intelligence and it has many grooves and folds and it helps in thinking, learning and reasoning, right. Okay. So, this is about your cerebrum. So, next we will see about what is the cerebellum. So, below the cerebrum you can see a structure here. So, this is actually, it is known as cerebellum. So, cerebellum is situated at the base of the cerebrum. Okay. So, cerebrum or a base at the bottom, it is back of the cerebrum. You can see a small part here. So, this is known as cerebellum. Okay. So, now let us write about cerebellum. So, the second part is cerebellum. So, what is the function of the cerebellum? So, cerebellum helps in balancing your body and it controls your muscles. Particularly your muscles is controlled by the cerebellum. Okay. So, what is the function of the cerebellum? The cerebellum helps in, it is below the cerebrum. So, cerebellum is below the cerebrum. It balances our body. balances our body and it also helps in movement of muscles. Okay. So, it helps in movement of muscles. Okay. So, the cerebellum is situated at the base of the cerebrum and it helps in balancing the body. So, it helps in balancing our body and it helps in coordinating and movement of our muscles. So, our muscles are controlled by our cerebellum. Okay, right. So, this is the function of the cerebellum. Now, let us see the third part. What is the third part? The third part is this one, the stem like structure is there, no? So, this is known as medulla oblongata. So, this is medulla oblongata. So, this how a flower is carried by a stem, likewise the brain is carried with the help of a stem called brain stem. This is also called as brain stem and it is known as medulla oblongata. So, what is the function of the medulla oblongata? The medulla oblongata controls your involuntary actions. What are your involuntary actions? Involuntary actions means that you cannot able to control. Unnala control panna mudiyada or actions are involuntary actions. So, what are the actions that you cannot control? For example, your breathing, heartbeat, your digestion. Okay. So, all this functions, all these actions, you cannot control your actions, right. So, these are controlled by the medulla oblongata. Okay. So, the medulla oblongata starts from the base of the brain, starts from the base of the cerebrum and it continues and it is connected to the spinal cord at the end. Okay. So, what is the function of the medulla oblongata? It controls the involuntary actions. Involuntary actions. What are the involuntary actions? Yes, the involuntary actions like breathing, digestion, heartbeat, so this medulla oblongata connects the brain and the spinal cord. Okay. So, the main function of the medulla oblongata is to control the involuntary actions. Okay. Right. So, now we learned what are the parts of the brain, right. Okay. What are the parts of the brain? It has cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. So, from the medulla oblongata your spinal cord arises. So, spinal cord is connected with the brain with the help of the medulla oblongata. So, what is spinal cord? Spinal cord is a bundle of nerves. So, you can see here at the, in our back side, that is in our backbone. So, in our backbone we can see a bundle of nerves that is arised from the medulla oblongata. So, that bundle of nerves are called as spinal cord. Okay. So, now let us write about the spinal cord. So, what is spinal cord? Right. So, from the brain you can see a bundle of nerves arises in the center of the backbone, that is vertebral column. So, that is known as spinal cord. So, it is a bundle of nerves. So, spinal cord is a bundle of nerves. Okay. So, from the spinal cord many nerves arises. So, many nerves arises to all the parts of our body. So, we can see many nerves arises from the spinal cord. Many nerves are connected from spinal cord to all parts of the body. Right? Okay. So how if I beat you, I mean if I pinch you, if anybody pinches you, so you will feel the pain, right? So how first you feel the pinching? By the sense organs. From the skin, the nerves are taken the messages to your brain through the spinal cord, and thereby the brain is sending the messages through the spinal cord to the nerves to take the hand from that particular place. So suppose if your hand is exposed to any heat, so you are immediately you are removing your hand, right? So this function, this action is because of the brain, that you are sending the messages to remove your hand from that hot place, right? So this all coordination is happening because of these nerves. Okay. So how your the spinal cord, that is your spinal cord is protected by the vertebral column, that is your backbone. The same way your brain is also protected by a bony skull structure called skull. Okay. So in between the skull and the brain you have a liquid like structure, the liquid known as, it is a meningeal fluid. So that fluid helps your brain to absorb the shock. So from it prevents your brain from the shock. Okay. Right. So almost. So you learned about brain and the parts. After that you learned about the spinal cord, right? So after the spinal cord nerves arises, right? So these nerves are made up of nerve cells. The nerve cells are called as neurons. So what is, you can see here many nerves arises from the spinal cord, right? So these nerve cells are also called as neurons. So what is neurons? Neurons are also called as nerve cells. Right? So this nerve cells, this nerves can be divided into three types on the basis of their functions. Okay? So what are the three types? It is divided into three types. So what are the three types? The first one is sensory nerves. Sensory nerves. The second one is motor nerves. Motor nerves. And the third one is mixed nerves. Mixed nerves. Now let us see what is the function of these nerves. The first one, sensory nerves. The sensory nerves take the messages from the sense organs to the brain. So it takes the messages from your skin, from your eyes, from your nose, from your tongue and from your ears to your brain. Okay. So it takes the messages from sense organs to brain. So if you feel any hot, or if you feel any tasty food, or if you hear any good music, so how you can able to recognize it? With the help of the nerves that takes the messages to your brain, right? So that is why these nerves are called as sensory nerves. It is the one way, it is like a one way. It only takes the messages from the sense organs to the brain, right? So these nerves are called as sensory nerves. And the next one, motor nerves. What are motor nerves? The motor nerves are connected from the brain to all the parts of the body, or all the parts of the sensory sense organs. Okay. So here from the brain, the nerves are connected to all the parts of the body. All parts of body. Here the messages is sent from the brain to all the parts of our body. So the reply. So the reply is from what you have to do. If you are expose your hands to hot fire, so immediately you are taking your hands, right? So that removing your hands from the fire, so that action is done, right? So that is because of the motor nerves. The motor nerves helps your brain to send you the messages to do the action, okay? So this is the motor nerves. And mixed nerves. Mixed nerves, these nerves, they do both the functions. They even take the messages from the sense organs to the brain, and also sometimes it takes the messages from the brain to all the parts of the body. So it does both it do to and from. So it does both the functions, both to and from brain, right? So almost with this you learned what are the nerves. Nerves are nothing but it is made up of nerve cells, right? So the nerves are divided into three types: sensory nerves, motor nerves and mixed nerves. Sensory nerves are the nerves that takes the messages from the sense organs to the brain, and motor nerves are the nerves that takes gives the messages from the brain to all the parts of the body, and mixed nerves does both the function to and from the brain. So it also sometimes will take the messages, or it sometimes will make you to do the action also. Okay, so this is about your nerves. So in your 5 mark, they will ask what are the types of nerves and what are the functions of the nerves. So you have to write that what is nerves and what are the types of nerves and what are the functions of these nerves in detail for your 5 mark. Okay, right. So now in this slide you can easily identify, or you can easily understand what are sensory nerves, what are motor nerves and what are mixed nerves. So here you can see from the sense organs the nerves are connected to your brain. So this is known as sensory nerves. So it is like an input to your brain, and from the brain the messages is sent to all the parts of the body. So this is your motor nerves. Okay. So thereby once you feel thirsty, once you want to, if you see water, so you wanted to drink water, so you are sending the messages to the brain, and the brain is replying to take the water and drink. So then the muscles taking the water and drinking. So with the sense organs, with the sensory nerves, the messages are taken to your brain, and through the motor nerves the brain is sending the messages to all the parts of the body. Okay, right. So almost in this class you have learnt about what are the parts of our brain, and we also learned what is the function of the nervous system. The nervous system help us to do all the functions through our sense organs, right? So what are the nervous system is made up of? The nervous system is made up of brain, spinal cord and nerves. So brain has 3 parts. Your brain is protected by a bony structure called skull, right? So this brain has 3 parts: cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. So first we saw about brain, right? So we learnt about brain. So brain and its parts. So brain and its parts. So brain has 3 parts: cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. So what is the functions of these parts? So cerebrum is the center of intelligence and it controls your sense organs, and this cerebrum helps you to think, learn and reasoning. Okay. And the next one, cerebellum. Cerebellum helps you to maintain your body balance, and it also helps in coordinating and movement of your muscles, right? And the third one, medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata controls your involuntary actions like breathing, swallowing, digestion, heartbeat, all these things, right? Yes. So after that we learnt about spinal cord. So spinal cord is a thick bundle of nerves, and it is present at the back of our body inside our vertebral column. So the spinal cord is protected by a vertebral column, and from the spinal cord many nerves arises to all the parts of our body, right? So the brain is connected with the spinal cord with the help of the medulla oblongata, right? And From the spinal cord we can see many nerves arises. So these are helps in using as a telephone, how a telephone wire works. So likewise the nerves works as a telephone wire and it is sent to all the parts of the body, and these nerves are divided into 3 types: sensory nerves, motor nerves and mixed nerves. So you also learned the types of nerves, right? Yes children. So in the next class we will learn more about what are the functions of reflex action, what is reflex action, and also we will learn about the sense organs, right? So now children, through this video you have learnt about what is nervous system, right? So go through the video and again and take the hard words and write the hard words at least more than 5 times, so that when you write without seeing you will not do mistakes in the spelling, right? So go through the video and go through the 5-mark question also and about brain also, right? So hope this class is useful for you. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.